Now we are going to discuss about magnetic scalar potential and the magnetic vector potential. So we already know the two basic equations of magnetostatics. The first one is curl of magnetic field is equal to mu naught times J vector. And the second equation that we derived in the previous lecture, that is divergence of magnetic field is always equal to 0. So these are the two basic equations of magnetostatics that we have derived. Now first of all we are going to talk about magnetic scalar potential. So for that we are going to see this first equation, curl of magnetic field is equal to mu naught times J vector. So let's write this again. Curl of magnetic field is equal to mu naught times J vector. Now let's suppose if you have current free space, means there is no current present in a region, in that case J vector will go to 0. So at points where there is no current, in that case J vector can be put equal to 0. So this equation will become, in that case this equation will become curl of magnetic field is equal to 0. So at points where there is no current, we can write curl of magnetic field is equal to 0. Now let's remind the concept that we derived in the case of electrostatics. So there we had studied that curl of electric field always comes out to be equal to 0. So no matter what, curl of electric field is always equal to 0. So there we found that if curl of any vector is equal to 0, then that vector can be written as gradient of some scalar function. So if you have any vector, let's suppose any vector p vector, so curl of this vector field is equal to 0, then this p vector can be written as gradient of some other scalar function. So this p vector, this can be written as equal to gradient of some scalar function, let's say that is phi. So if curl of any vector field is equal to 0, then that vector field can be written as gradient of a scalar function. And you can see it from here that if p vector is put equal to gradient of a scalar function, then you already know that curl of gradient is always 0. So if curl of a vector field is equal to 0, then this vector field can be put equal to gradient of a scalar function, and that is because curl of gradient is always equal to 0. Therefore, this vector field, if its curl is equal to 0, then this vector field can be written as curl of a scalar function. So this is the property that we have already studied in the previous lecture, and this we applied to electrostatics also. So in the case of electric field, curl of the electric field intensity is always equal to 0. So there we said that this electric field can be written as negative of gradient of capital V, and this V was called as, or you can say this V is called as electric potential. So if curl of electric field comes out to be 0, then the electric field can be written as negative of gradient of a scalar function, and this scalar function is known as electric potential, and this is a scalar quantity. And this similar thing we can do in the case of magnetostatics if we are talking about current free space. So at points where there is no current, at those points curl of the magnetic field will come out to be equal to 0. So this magnetic field in that case can be written as negative of gradient of a scalar function, and this scalar function is known as magnetic scalar potential. So at points where there is no current, in that case magnetic field can be written as negative of gradient of a scalar function, and that scalar function is magnetic scalar potential. But in general, if we talk about a general case, curl of magnetic field does not come out to be equal to 0. So curl of magnetic field is 0 in the case of current free space. But this is not the case in general. So we cannot express the magnetic field as negative of gradient of a magnetic scalar potential at points where current exists. So this is the case only when we have current free space. So only at points where there is no current, in that case magnetic field can be expressed as negative of gradient of a magnetic scalar potential. But where current exists, at those points we cannot find out magnetic field using this equation. So now we are going to talk about magnetic vector potential. So for that we will be using this second equation of magnetostatics, means divergence of magnetic field is equal to 0. And we are going to use the case that if divergence of any vector, let's say r vector, if divergence of any vector field is equal to 0, then this vector field can be written as curl of some other vector field. So if divergence of a vector is equal to 0, this vector can be written as curl of some other vector. Let's say it is q vector. And that's because divergence of curl is always equal to 0. So if you will put r vector as curl of q vector, so what you will get? You will get divergence of curl of q vector. And we have already studied in the previous semester that divergence of curl is always equal to 0. So if divergence of a vector is equal to 0, then that vector can be expressed as curl of some another vector. So the same thing we can do for the case of magnetic field using this equation. So we know that divergence of magnetic field is always equal to 0. So this vector field means this magnetic field can be expressed as, it can be written as curl of some other vector. And let's suppose that other vector is a vector. So if divergence of b vector is 0, then b vector can be written as curl of some another vector, and we denote that another vector by a vector, and this vector over here is called as magnetic vector potential. So magnetic field can be expressed as negative of gradient of a scalar function only when you have current free space. But magnetic field can be expressed as curl of some another vector always, no matter what. Always you can express the magnetic field as curl of some other vector, because divergence of magnetic field is always equal to 0. But this equation you get only when you put j vector is equal to 0 on the right hand side. But that is not the case in general. But this case, this equation is valid for every region. So divergence of magnetic field is 0, then magnetic field can be expressed as curl of some another vector, and this vector is called as magnetic vector potential. So if we find a vector of a particular current distribution, if you find a vector, then you can obtain b vector from there by taking curl of this vector. So now we are going to find out the expression of this a vector, the general expression of a vector. So now we are going to find out the expression of a vector, which is the magnetic vector potential. So we are going to find out the expression of this vector for the case of line current distribution. So here we have current which is flowing in a wire. So we call it as line current distribution. So it is flowing in a line. So first of all, we are going to find out a vector for this line current distribution. Then from the result that we will get, we can find out, we can generalize that expression for surface current distribution as well as for volume current distribution. So that we will do at the end of this derivation. So to find out, to start off, we take a current element. So that is the most general thing that we do when we are finding the magnetic field. So we are going to take a current element or a line element over here, and let's call this line element, this vector, as dr prime vector. So we are going to use the same notation that we used in the previous derivation, means every point on this current distribution will be represented by a primed variable, and every other point outside this distribution will be represented by unprimed variables. So this vector over here, this small line element vector, this is denoted by dr prime vector, and current which is flowing through this element is capital I. And let's say the position vector of this line element with respect to the origin of the system. Let's say at this point we have the origin of the coordinate system, then its position vector is represented by r prime vector. So this vector from O point to this line element, this whole vector is denoted by r prime vector. And let's suppose we are going to find out magnetic field at this point. So this is the observation point. So what is the position vector of observation point? That is OP vector. And let's represent it by r vector. So I am using the same vector notation that I used in the previous derivation. And then we have this vector from the line element to the observation point, and this vector is represented by curly r vector, and this curly r vector will be equal to, this will be equal to r vector minus r prime vector. So using the triangular law of vector addition, curly r vector will be equal to r vector minus r prime vector, and then you can find out its magnitude. So its magnitude is represented by mod of r vector, and this is also denoted by just curly r. So its magnitude will be magnitude of right hand side, means r vector minus r prime vector. So now we are going to find out the expression of magnetic field at this point due to this current element, due to this small current element. So using the Biot-Savart law, what will be magnetic field at this observation point due to this small current element? So that is represented by dB vector, and that will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi, then I times dr prime vector, cross product with, so dr prime vector cross product with r cap divide by r square. So this formula we have also seen in the previous lecture. So the magnetic field at the observation point due to this current element will be given by this expression. Now you can multiply and divide this expression by curly r. So you can club this curly r with curly r cap. So that will be equal to curly r vector. So this will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I times dr prime vector cross product with curly r into curly r cap will be equal to curly r vector divide by curly r square into curly r, that is curly r cube. So over here curly r is the magnitude. Now you can substitute the expression of curly r. So curly r vector is equal to r vector minus r prime vector, and magnitude of curly r vector is equal to this expression on the right hand side. So you can substitute over here. So dB vector will come out to be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi, then I as it is, dr prime vector as it is, then cross product with curly r vector, that is equal to this expression, means r vector minus r prime vector. Then divide by curly r cube. So curly r is equal to magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. Then we have its cube. So over here in the numerator I have written the round brackets. I have used round brackets, and over here magnitude is represented by straight lines. So you have to keep in mind this thing, because many students, they just write round brackets in the denominator also. So now we are going to see the expression of gradient of 1 by r. So this also we have seen in the previous lecture, that gradient of a scalar function, gradient of 1 by r, that will be equal to minus 1 by r square, then r cap. So gradient of a scalar function is always a vector quantity. So that you can see over here we have unit vector on the right hand side. So it will be a vector quantity. So gradient of 1 by r comes out to be equal to this. So over here also you can multiply and divide by curly r. So that will be equal to minus curly r vector divided by curly r cube. So over here also you can substitute the expression of curly r. So gradient of 1 by r means, now r over here is the magnitude of curly r vector. So you will write it in modulus. So 1 divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector magnitude. So you will write it in this format. That will be equal to negative of curly r vector. So negative sign as it is. Then curly r vector is equal to r vector minus r prime vector. And you have to write it in round brackets. Divide by cube of magnitude of curly r. So that you have to write in straight bars. So r vector minus r prime vector. And then you have to write its cube. So over here you can see that I have r vector minus r prime vector over cube of magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. So you can relate this expression over here. So you can see I have r vector minus r prime vector as it is, and cube of magnitude of this expression as it is. So from this expression I can take this on one side, only this expression on one side. So that will come out to be negative of gradient of this expression. So in this expression I am going to substitute negative of gradient of 1 by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. So I am substituting for this expression using this one. So that will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi I times dr prime vector, then cross product with. So instead of this fraction I am writing negative of gradient of this factor. So that will be negative of gradient of 1 by this fraction. So this negative sign can be taken outside. So I can write it over here. Now over here dr prime vector, this is a vector quantity and we are doing its cross product with another vector. So gradient of a scalar is always a vector quantity, as I have said. So gradient of the scalar will be a vector. So this will be a vector quantity and this is also a vector quantity. So let's call this vector, let's say this is any vector. So you can denote it by m vector, and this is any vector, another vector. So let's denote it by n vector. So you have m cross n vector. So here you have a negative sign. So now let's use the property of vectors of cross product. So m cross n can be written as negative of n cross m. So here you already have a negative sign. So you can adjust this negative sign using this expression. So what you will get? So dB vector, this dB vector as it is, this will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi as it is. Then I times, now you will swap these two vectors and you will adjust this negative sign. So instead of m cross n, now you will write n cross m. And this negative sign will be consumed using this step. So that will be equal to n cross m. So what is n vector? That is gradient of 1 by r vector minus r prime vector magnitude. So this is the first vector, n vector, then cross product with the first vector, which is m vector. So that will be dr prime vector. So negative sign has been consumed in this step. Now for the next step, we are again going to use the vector identity, and that is curl of, so you have to remember this, curl of a scalar function multiplied by a vector. So what is curl of this expression? So that is equal to scalar function as it is, then curl of vector, then you have plus gradient of the scalar function cross product with the vector. So this identity you have to remember, that curl of a scalar function multiplied by a vector quantity is equal to scalar function as it is, curl of the vector plus gradient of scalar function. So this will come out to be a vector quantity, and you have to do its cross product with the vector c vector. So now we are going to use the same thing over here. So over here, what is the scalar function that you have? The scalar function that you have is 1 divided by r vector minus r prime vector. So let's substitute phi as 1 divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector, and substitute this c vector as dr prime vector. So what you will get? So you will get curl of, instead of phi you are going to write 1 divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector and multiplied by c vector. So for c vector I am substituting dr prime vector. So in a moment you will get to know that why I am taking phi as this scalar function and this vector as dr prime vector. So what will be this expression? It will be equal to the scalar function as it is. So phi as it is means 1 divided by r vector minus r prime vector magnitude. Then you have curl of the vector, and the vector is dr prime vector over here. Plus as it is, then you have gradient of the scalar function. So gradient of scalar function is 1 divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. Then its cross product with dr prime vector. So now you will get to know that why I have done this step. So you can see over here that I have curl of a scalar cross product with dr prime vector, and using this identity you can see that I have got the same expression over here. Curl of this scalar function, curl of the scalar function, then cross product with dr prime vector. So this term is same as that of this one. Now in this expression, as we have said in the previous derivation also, that curl is taken with respect to the unprimed variables. So this curl which we are taking, this curl is at this point. So the curl is taken with respect to the unprimed variables, means with respect to x, y and z. And this dr prime vector, this is present on the current distribution, on this line current distribution. So this dr prime vector is completely independent of the unprimed variables. So curl of dr prime vector will come out to be equal to 0, because in the case of curl, In the case of curl, we have partial derivatives with respect to x, y and z. So you have already done in the previous semester how do you find curl. So in that case you take a determinant, and on the first row you have I cap, j cap and k cap. Then in the second row you have del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. And in the last row you have the components of the vector, that is ax, ay and az. Means when you will solve it, you will get partial derivatives with respect to x, y and z. So when you will take the curl, you have partial derivatives with respect to x, y and z, and this dr prime vector is completely independent of those x, y and z variables. So this curl will come out to be equal to 0. So curl of dr prime vector will come out to be equal to 0. So this first term over here will be equal to 0. Means this term over here will be equal to this term. So we can substitute this expression which is present over here, this expression can be substituted as this left hand side, because this first term comes out to be equal to 0. So dB vector will be equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi, then current as it is. Now this expression term can be written as this left hand side. So I can write it as curl of dr prime vector divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. So dB vector has come out to be equal to this. Now outside these curly brackets I have mu naught divided by 4 pi times the current, and these are the constant things. So these can be either taken outside the curly brackets or they can be taken inside. So there will be no difference, because constant terms it can be taken outside or it can be taken with this term. So I am going to take these terms inside this curl. Because this is a constant term, so it will make no difference. So dB vector will be equal to, so I am taking this whole term inside and I will be just left with curl. So I will have curl of, then I will write the whole expression with this constant term. So that will be mu naught times I times dr prime vector divided by 4 pi as it is, then magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. So this is the expression of magnetic field at this point P due to this current carrying element, due to this small current carrying element. But we want to find the total magnetic field. Total magnetic field at this point due to this whole line current distribution, that will be equal to integration of both hand sides. So the total magnetic field will be equal to integration of dB vector, which will be in turn equal to integration of the right hand side. So inside the integral I will have this whole expression. So this integration of this whole expression will give me the total magnetic field at this observation point due to the whole line current distribution. So now we are going to do a little modification to find out the expression of A vector, which is the magnetic vector potential. So this is the expression we got of the total magnetic field at the observation point due to the whole line current distribution. Now as we have said that this curl is taken with respect to the unprimed variables, means with respect to x, y and z, and this integration is over the whole current line distribution. So the distribution that we took, the current line distribution that we took, the current was flowing in this direction. So as we have said that every point on the line current distribution is represented by primed variables, and every other point outside this current distribution is represented by unprimed variables. So this integral which we have taken, this integral is taken over this whole line current distribution means this integration is done with respect to the primed variables, and this curl which we have taken, this curl is taken with respect to the unprimed variables, means with respect to x, y and z. So this curl is taken at the observation point, and the observation point is present outside the current distribution. So definitely this curl is with respect to the x, y and z coordinates, and integration is done with respect to the primed variables. So these two operators, they are completely independent. So we can swap these two operators. So either you can first take the curl of this expression and then do the integration, or you can do it other way around, means you can first do the integration and then take its curl. So the result will come out to be the same, because these two operators, they are completely independent. So now we are going to swap these two operators. So first I am going to take integration and then I can take the curl. So answer will remain the same. So magnetic field can be written as curl of the expression which is mu naught I dr prime vector divided by 4 pi magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector. So this is the expression of magnetic field that you have got. And in the starting of this lecture, I have said that divergence of magnetic field is equal to 0. So we can write the magnetic field as curl of another vector which is represented by a vector, and this is called as magnetic vector potential. So in this case, in this whole derivation, I took the magnetic field due to a small element. So I took the expression of magnetic field, I did a little bit of modifications, and then I found the total magnetic field at this observation point, and I found the magnetic field can be written as curl of this expression. So with little modifications throughout the derivation, what I have done is I have found out the expression of magnetic field in terms of curl of some expression, and we have already said that magnetic field can be written as curl of a vector quantity, and that vector quantity is called as magnetic vector potential. So from this expression, if you will relate this expression with this one, so you can easily compare these two expressions and you can write that a vector. So here I have curl of this expression and over here I have curl of a vector. So when I will compare these two expressions, I will get a vector is equal to integration of this term, which is mu naught I dr prime vector divided by 4 pi r vector minus r prime vector magnitude. Now I can take this constant term outside. So this can be written as, so let's take current inside the integral. So I'm just taking mu naught by 4 pi outside the integral. So that will be equal to integration of I times dr prime vector divided by magnitude of r vector minus r prime vector magnitude. So this is the expression of magnetic vector potential when you have a line current distribution. When you have a line current distribution. So this is an important formula that we have derived of magnetic vector potential.